I want you to picture two apartments. Same city, same neighborhood, same rent. The first one is yours, 6 months ago. Walk inside and you'll find a 75-inch TV mounted on the wall you barely watch. A $4,000 leather sectional. A kitchen full of appliances, most still in their boxes. A closet overflowing with clothes, tags still on half of them. A spare bedroom that's really just storage for things you haven't touched in years. You check your bank account with a knot in your stomach. You're 2 missed paychecks away from crisis. The second apartment belongs to a woman earning almost the same amount. Walk inside and you'll notice space. A modest couch that's actually comfortable. A kitchen with exactly the tools that get used. A closet where every piece gets worn. The spare bedroom is an actual bedroom. She checks her bank account and feels calm. She has 14 months of expenses saved, and she invests a fifth of every paycheck without thinking twice. Same income. Nearly 10 times the financial security. This isn't a story about how much you earn. It's a story about the hidden relationship between stuff and money that almost nobody understands, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which apartment you're actually living in. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Here's the idea that's going to change how you look at every purchase for the rest of 2026. Everything you own costs you twice. The first cost is obvious. It's the number on the receipt. The second cost is the one almost nobody calculates, and it's often bigger than the first. It includes storage, maintenance, mental energy, and opportunity cost. Take that treadmill folded in the corner of your bedroom. It takes up about 20 square feet once you count the clearance space around it. In most U.S. cities, that's $30 to $50 per square foot of implicit rent every year. That's $600 to $1,000 a year you're quietly paying to store a clothes rack that occasionally doubles as exercise equipment. Or think about a boat, a jet ski, anything sitting in a driveway for the summer. The industry rule of thumb is that annual maintenance runs about 10% of the item's value. A $30,000 boat costs $3,000 a year just to exist in your life, whether you ever use it or not. Then there's the cost almost nobody puts a number on: mental energy. Every item you own takes up a small slice of your attention. It needs to be cleaned, organized, insured, worried about, eventually dealt with. Researchers have found that visual clutter raises cortisol and makes it harder for your brain to focus. Your stuff is stressing you out in ways you're not consciously noticing. And finally, opportunity cost. Every dollar sitting in a possession is a dollar not invested. That $15,000 home gym setup could have been $15,000 in an index fund, quietly becoming $50,000 or more over 15 years. You didn't just buy a home gym. You bought a home gym instead of your own future. Add all of that up, and a huge number of things you own cost more to keep than they cost to buy. The price tag is just the entry fee. The real cost never stops running. Once you see this, you can't unsee it, and it's about to change how you shop for the rest of your life. So here's where it starts to shift. Walk through your own space right now, in your head if you have to, and ask one question about every item you own. If this disappeared today, would I actually go buy it again? Not, did I spend money on it? Not, do I feel guilty getting rid of it? Just, would you replace it, honestly, right now, with your own money? Would you replace the fondue set? The bread maker collecting dust in the cabinet? The 11 shirts you haven't worn in 18 months? For most of what you own, the honest answer is no. You wouldn't replace it. It's in your life through inertia, not intention, an impulse buy, a guilt gift, a leftover from a phase you've already outgrown. That stuff isn't neutral. It has negative value. It costs you space, mental energy, and upkeep without giving you anything back. Every minute spent organizing around things you wouldn't repurchase is a minute stolen from something that actually matters to you. This is uncomfortable to sit with the first time. But once you actually clear the things that fail this test, something shifts. Rooms feel bigger. Decisions get simpler. Cleaning takes half the time because everything left has a reason to be there. The 9 rules. Rule 1. Calculate cost per use before you buy anything. Before you buy something, estimate honestly how many times you'll actually use it. Divide the price by that number. That's your cost per use, and it's the only honest measure of value. A $200 jacket you wear twice costs $100 a wear. A $400 jacket you wear 200 times costs $2 a wear. The expensive jacket is actually the cheaper one in every way that matters. This kills most impulse purchases instantly. That $300 kitchen gadget you'll use twice a year? That's $150 per use in year one, an absurd price for whatever task it does. Meanwhile, a $30 tool you use every week costs less than 60 cents a use. But it also reveals what's actually worth spending on. A $2,000 mattress, used every night for 10 years, costs about 55 cents a use. Extraordinary value for something that affects your health and your energy every single day. A $1,500 espresso machine used daily for 5 years is under $1 a use, and it's probably saving you money compared to coffee runs. The math cuts through marketing and emotion and tells you, plainly, what's actually worth it. Rule 2. Apply the replacement test to what you already own. You already know this one from a few minutes ago, but the discipline is doing it on a schedule, not just once. Go category by category. Clothes this month. Kitchen next month. Decor after that. Sell what has value. Donate what someone else could use. Let go of what serves nobody. It feels uncomfortable the first pass through, and then genuinely lighter once it's done. You'll know exactly where everything is, because everything left has a purpose. Rule 3. Never upgrade out of boredoms. There's a pattern I see constantly in women who earn a good income, but have nothing to show for it years later. They upgrade things that already work, simply because they're bored or because something newer exists. The phone that works fine gets replaced for a slightly better camera. The car that runs perfectly gets traded in because a coworker's new one looked nice. This feels like progress. It's actually wealth quietly leaking out of your life. The average person replaces their phone every 2 to 3 years, often while the old one works fine. Over 30 years, that habit alone costs $30,000 to $50,000. Apply that same pattern across cars, furniture, and electronics, and the lifetime cost easily crosses $200,000. Define functional clearly. An item is done when it genuinely fails to do its job. Boredom isn't failure. Wanting something newer isn't failure. Everything else is marketing convincing you to solve a problem you don't actually have. Rule 4. Build friction into spending and remove it from saving. Your behavior follows the path of least resistance. If spending is easy and saving is hard, you'll spend. If saving is automatic and spending takes effort, you'll save. Spending friction looks like deleting saved cards from your favorite sites, a mandatory 24-hour wait before any non-essential purchase, deleting shopping apps, unsubscribing from every promotional email. Saving ease looks like automatic transfers the day your paycheck lands, keeping only a small buffer in checking, and treating your investment contribution like a bill that's due, not an afterthought. This matters more than willpower, because willpower runs out by 8 p.m. on a hard day, and your bank's automation never does. That 24-hour rule alone eliminates roughly 70% of impulse purchases. Most desire for an object fades within a day if you don't act on it immediately. Rule 5. Count your possessions on purpose. This sounds obsessive until you actually try it. Pick one category. Count exactly how many you own. Write the number down. How many shirts do you actually have? Most women guess low and discover it's 3 or 4 times higher. How many pairs of shoes? How many half-used skincare products in that drawer? The count itself changes behavior. Once you know you own 47 shirts, buying a 48th feels different. The absurdity becomes visible. Set a real ceiling, maybe 30 clothing items, maybe a 1-in-1-out rule for anything new. Limit stop lifestyle creep before it starts. Rule 6. Rent or borrow before you buy into a new hobby. Most things people buy get used hard for a few weeks and then almost never again. The excitement fades, the item joins the pile of things owned but untouched. Before buying camping gear, rent it for your first 2 trips. Before buying a kayak, rent one a few times first. This does 2 things. It tells you honestly whether the interest is real or just a phase, and it teaches you exactly what you actually need instead of guessing and overbuying. Closets across the country are full of dusty ski gear, camera equipment, and instruments from hobbies that lasted one season. Test the interest before you buy the identity. Rule 7. Understand the lifestyle multiplier effect. Every big purchase drags smaller ones behind it. A pool needs chemicals, covers, furniture, and landscaping. A home gym needs flooring, mirrors, and ventilation. A boat needs a trailer, a bigger vehicle to tow it, storage, insurance, and gear. That $5,000 item you were eyeing might actually be an $8,000 or $12,000 commitment once every related expense is counted. This full accounting often turns something that felt reasonable into something clearly excessive, and it works in reverse too. Sell the boat, and you don't just get the sale price back. You eliminate the storage fee, the insurance, the towing costs, the whole tail of expenses that came with it. Rule 8. Define enough before you start earning more. Here's the trap that catches high earners constantly. They never decide what enough actually looks like, so no raise ever feels like enough. Income goes up, lifestyle expands to match it, and the treadmill never ends. Women earning $300,000 often feel exactly as financially stressed as women earning $80,000 because their expectations expanded right alongside their paycheck. Decide in advance what a sufficient home looks like. What car actually meets your needs? What level of comfort is genuinely enough? Then earn toward that number instead of constantly moving the goalpost. Someone who defines enough at $60,000 in spending and then starts earning $150,000 builds wealth at an extraordinary rate. That $90,000 gap goes straight to investing. Someone earning the same amount but redefining enough every year might save almost nothing. Rule 9. Measure wealth by what you can choose, not what you own. Real wealth isn't the size of your closet. It's the size of your options. Can you leave a job that's damaging your mental health? Take 6 months off for a family emergency? Move for a relationship without panicking about money? Say no to work that pays well but costs your integrity? Those options only exist for people who've built real margin between what they earn and what they spend. A woman earning $200,000 but spending $195,000 has almost no options. She's chained to that income. A woman earning $80,000 but spending $45,000 has enormous flexibility. She can absorb a bad year, take a risk, make a choice based on preference instead of necessity. Every purchase is really a trade. You're trading a little bit of your future optionality for a little bit of present possession. Sometimes that trade is worth it. Often it isn't. How to actually start. Here's how to put this into practice starting this week, not someday. This week, walk through your space with the replacement test in mind. Find 10 items you would not buy again if they vanished. Sell them, donate them, or let them go, and notice how it actually feels to remove things you never wanted in the first place. This month, apply the 24-hour rule to every non-essential purchase. Track how many of those must-haves survive the wait versus how many just evaporate. The data will tell you exactly how much of your spending has been impulse, not intention. This quarter, count your possessions in the 3 categories that tend to balloon the most: clothing, kitchen items, and anything in the entertainment catch-all. Set a real ceiling for each one, based on what you actually use, not what you wish you used. None of this requires a massive purge followed by a slow slide back to where you started. It works better as small, repeated reviews, a weekly glance, a monthly category check, a quarterly step back. Removing 3 things a week is sustainable. Removing 300 things once a year is overwhelming, and it usually gets postponed indefinitely. Give this 3 months, and you won't just notice more money in your account. You'll notice something bigger. You'll stop feeling behind. Not because your income changed, because your definition of enough finally did. So be honest with yourself right now. Are you closer to that first apartment or the second one? Tell me in the comments, no judgment. Just honesty helps someone else watching this recognize themselves too. And if this shifted how you see your own spending, subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the exact number you need saved before you can safely walk away from a job you hate.